the future is such an essential, such a vital part of everybody's existence, because it's there where this little me says a satisfying conclusion to my story will be reached. At some point, I will get there. Whatever the satisfying conclusion of the story is, it depends on what kind of story the little me has fabricated for itself. It may be material success, it may be finding the ideal partner, it may be reaching a state of enlightenment. One day I'll get there. So the future promises fulfillment. That's why everybody is running towards it. If you go to a big city, I was in New York a few days ago, and everybody's almost running. Continuously. Imagine a visitor from another planet coming and looking at that. Where are they running to? And of course, they're running to the future. They're trying to get away from this moment, because you're hurrying, moving to future. Everybody is running towards the future, because this isn't good enough. We need to get there. So it's a frantic attempt of the little me to reach the future. And if you cannot get out of the story of me, but of course here we are getting out, even just by recognizing the nature of the story, by looking at it, we are beginning to step out, because it can only sustain itself if it remains unconscious. It can only sustain itself, the fiction of the little me can only sustain itself if it remains an unconscious movement. But when you look at it, that basically it means you're now witnessing, you're watching the mind and the structure of the mind. The recognition of that is already the beginning of the end of the unconsciousness that sustains that movement, and it has been running humanity for many, many thousands of years. So we just here at the moment we are simply looking at the mechanical, unconscious nature of the mind structures. But it's more than that. By seeing it, the seeing is not part of it. The seeing is part of something that is arising that is nothing to do with the conditioned consciousness, the mind. And that's arising here. So, if you have not stepped out of the story of me at all, the worst thing that could happen to you would be not to have any more future, because then the little me gets into a panic and says, what do I do without, the story will not reach a conclusion. If you take away future, you take away the possibility of a happy ending to my story. And it's the worst thing that could happen for me to tell you you have no more future, or almost no more future. And the strange thing is, really, this is what's happening here in a subtle way. not not going to shock you in any way, but in a very subtle way, gradually we are removing future from our consciousness, so that level of consciousness gradually is replaced by something else. But we're going into that gradually, so that the little me doesn't go into contraction and you run out of the room. The future, seeking salvation in the future, seeking completion in the future. That's one aspect of future salvation for the little me. The other part of future is the little me also knows that the future is very threatening. It is drawn towards it as an answer to its story, but it knows at the same time that the future is going to kill it. Of course it will. The little me. So a dreadful dilemma arises for the little me. It's drawn towards future as an answer, as salvation, as fulfillment, and at the same time it's continuously threatened by the future, because anything may happen. I may lose what I already have, which may not be all that satisfying, but at least I have that. And the future may take it away from me. So the two movements that govern whatever the fictitious entity that humans are trapped in, whatever action it undertakes is governed by two motivating factors which are to do with future. A deep striving towards future as an answer is the movement of wanting and needing. That's why they're all running towards it. Traditionally, this has been called desire in spiritual teachings. The other movement connected with future is, my God, what's going to happen to me? What's the future going to do to me? That's called fear. Fear arises. So humans move between these two in a continuous conflict or dilemma. Desire, which is wanting and needing, and fear. So drawn to future and fearing it at the same time. Easy to see why humans live in such misery.